Well, for starters, Ian, one big plus is if you're looking for high-quality program listening, you want to get a radio with synchronous selectable sideband. The synchronous detection part of the circuit will reduce electrostatic distortion, and the selectable sideband part will reduce adjacent channel interference from competing stations. Here, too, the results go up and down the chart. The 3030 has a synchronous detector, all right. And just as you'd expect, it could virtually eliminate distortion from selected shading. That's the good news. The bad news is that there's no selectable sideband. It works for both sidebands only, so you can't choose between the upper and lower sideband to reduce interference.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It sounds like a serious omission in a receiver of this caliber.
I agree, and it's just plain silly. You can get synchronous selectable sideband at an ordinary $230 Sony portable. Why can't we get it in a model that costs over 3 times as much?
Good question. I'd certainly love to hear AOR's answer to that question.
Well, maybe you would, maybe you wouldn't. Anyhow, that's not the whole thing. There's more. You have to tune the 3030 very carefully, or that synchronous detector might produce distortion if it's tuned to a powerful station. On the other hand, the receiver does do a respectable job of maintaining lock between the synchronous detector and the received signal. Fortunately for shortwave listeners and VHF alike, the 3030's audio quality is pretty good. For example, we measured overall distortion as being only 2 to 3% in the AM mode, with or without synchronous detection. The single sideband mode is even better. In fact, one of our fussier panelists, a lifelong professional monitor, he was delighted with the single sideband performance of this receiver.
Well, that's certainly a very good spec of distortion.
Yes, it's a good spec on the distortion, and again, it's showing that this receiver does have some real pluses. The rub, however, is all that nice audio quality tends to get lost when it comes through the receiver's little speaker. But it does sound much better if you use a good external speaker or headphones. The bottom line, Ian, is that the AOR AR3030 is a mixed bag. Yet it's still a likable receiver, especially for tuning in single sideband signals.
Well, you mentioned at the outset, Larry, that AOR was entering the value price range with this first shortwave receiver of theirs. Briefly, is it really good value for money?
I think so, Ian. All the tabletop and port-to-top receivers in the $600 to $800 price range have at least some drawbacks. And now, this gives us another model to choose from, after all, and it does make it more likely that we can find something affordable. Something with drawbacks that don't matter all that much to us. After all, nothing's perfect, even receivers costing several $1,000s. So you have to weigh the pluses and minuses of each model against, in the end, what comes down to your own personal needs and tastes.
It's certainly a very subjective thing. And I guess really that the ultimate, especially the ultimate value price receiver, still manages to elude us.
It does. I think the ultimate anything manages to elude us, but then that's life.
Yeah, and of course, if you achieve perfection, there's nowhere else to go. So,
well, I will see you with your harp and your angels.
And on that note of perfection, or lack of it, I'd like to thank you very much once again, Larry, for joining us here on Media Roundup with another most interesting test report on the brand new shortwave receiver from AOR, a company that's most well known for its scanners.
As always, my pleasure, Ian, and I'll see you next month.
Okay, we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye for now.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Larry and Ian. Well, that's all we've got here for this week on Media Roundup. If you have any comments on our program or reception report, please do send them in. Our address is Media Roundup, Radio Japan, NHK, Tokyo 450-01, Japan. Until next time then, goodbye.